to this week's weekly reading. This is a reading for the week of July 22nd through 28th, I believe. I already forgot. I'm pretty sure it's the 22nd through the 28th of 2019. If you were watching this any other time, just trust that maybe there's a message here that you need to hear. So if you don't know me already, my name is Lalantia. I'm a psychic realm channeler and healer. And I help you to rediscover the magic of who you really truly are. I help you to activate and open your gifts, activate codes and wisdom that exists within you. I help you to step into your truth and your greater purpose. And I do this by working with many magical beings. I work with dragons, unicorns, mermaids, fairies, all of the different magical beings. I also work with ascended masters, goddesses, pretty much any kind of energy you can imagine that can help us in our human experience. So today, I wanted to come on and talk to you about the energy that is this week. So we have been going through a lot of transition, transformation, and this week the energy is, excuse me, partly about the integration of these new energies. And what comes with this is that connection with your higher self. So if you've been paying attention to the things that I've been talking about lately, it has been a lot of that importance of your soul connection, the connection to your soul and your soul's desires. So your soul comes here with the intention to learn certain things, to experience certain things. It's all about the experience, right? Your higher self has access to, so much more than what we see in our humanness, because we are restricted within this body and our brain. But we're not really, because we can receive this information from our higher self. So this week is, keep deepening that connection with your soul, but also remember to communicate with your higher self. This is a time of a lot of integration energy. So it's really important to allow yourself a little bit of a break if you need to rest sometimes, but you may also feel super inspired. You may feel super in tune and to be able to move forward with more ease. But what is really going to be key in this is that connection with your higher self and really deepening that connection with your higher self. Because of the integration energy that's happening, your higher self can help you with that. Now, there is this energy of, if you have this deeper connection with your higher self, then you may deepen it to another level. You may integrate with your higher self in a different way. It's a little bit hard to explain. I'm not going to go into it too much, but something to pay attention to. The other thing that they wanted to talk a little bit about is soul family and that connection with people around you. And one thing that's important to note is when you live authentically as yourself, when you communicate, connect to, and share messages from your higher self, and you live authentically to the best of your ability, because I think that we're always kind of finding our authenticity on, another level, moving more into our authentic selves all of the time. It's like just part of being human in our experience here. But as we do that, it's important to note that you don't have to do these things alone. You don't have to get through things all by yourself. And sometimes the lesson is to ask for help. And it can be really hard. And you may be surprised that when you ask for help, how much easier things can get for you. So you are attracting people to you by being who you really truly are. And this will attract the people, your soul family, to you, the people that you were meant to connect with. And so those are people that will be there for you, that will be able to show up for you in different ways and show up when you need help. So remember to ask for help if you're resistant to that, or if you feel called that that is something that you need to do. There is some energy around some more things being released this week. So the thing is we are always healing, growing, and expanding. It's just, depending a little bit on where you are. So for some of you, there is going to be another layer of like releasing of things. And this can be soul contracts. This can be past lives. This can be, you know, patterns that you have been repeating through many lifetimes maybe, and it's time to release that. So something to be aware of. If there's something that you feel like you just been repeating over and over and over and over again, this is the week to recognize that and say, okay, I'm done with this repeating pattern, and you can let it go. And so not everybody, I feel like this is not something that everybody's necessarily going to be focusing on as much, but for some of you, it's just another layer of releasing the old ways, right? So pay attention if that is something for you that you need to do. And you can notice that by your repeating patterns. You know, if you continue to get into relationships that are not really the greatest relationships, then, you know, it's time to recognize why that is and begin to change that. And that's just one example, because we see that all of the time, right? We often get into relationships that we just repeat over and over and over with different people. The last thing, kind of the last thing, is about continuing to listen to your soul. And I think I said this in the beginning of this video as well, but continue to listen to your soul. Now, your soul doesn't speak to you in the way that your higher self speaks to you. So I do believe that everyone's experience can be a little bit different, but I can only share my experience. And my soul, it's like when I tune into my soul, and I really deepen my connection with my soul, and I feel it in my heart space, then I suppose it's kind of a feeling and a knowing together. Sometimes there's phrases that will come up that need my attention for me to understand, you know, maybe something a little bit bigger. But for the most part, it's just like this knowing and this feeling within. And just the importance of being in tune with that, what that feeling is and what that means for you. So keep in mind, your soul is here to have experiences, and these experiences are going to stretch you, because your soul doesn't want you to live in your comfort zone. Your soul wants you to have these experiences that stretch you and bring you into expansion. So if you don't know whether to do a certain thing, tune into your soul. What does your soul say? You take action on that. And then you can tune into your higher self and say, what are the things that we need to do? Help me to feel the strength within me. Help me to connect to this and what I need to do. Or, you know, between the two, I mean, it's still all one, but it's like the energies are a little bit different. So in tuning into each of them, then you can begin to see a little bit bigger picture. You can begin to feel a little bit more strength within you to be able to get through difficult things, to be able to see the bigger picture. And it doesn't have to necessarily be, you know, really big things all of the time. Sometimes it may be things that may not seem so significant, but it all matters. So we're not going to go through, you know, life-altering things every single week. Not really. We're going to go through periods where there's a lot of things coming up and a lot of energy shifting and changing. And that has really been the energy over the past few weeks. And this week, we're really in that a little bit calmer. I feel it is a little bit calmer for some of you if you're still releasing some of the trauma or some of the soul contracts or the repeating patterns that you're ready to let go of. For you, the energy may not be as calm because you just haven't completed that process that a lot of people completed last week. For this cycle of it, doesn't mean that you're done forever, but completed it for this cycle, this energy right now, like the eclipse season energy is just kind of stepping into a different, lesser, not a lesser energy, but an energy that doesn't feel so traumatic and crazy. We'll just say that. So listen to your soul, listen to your higher self, tune into that. One thing that they had said before is access higher self guidance and rely on inner truths. Be honest with yourself. So be honest with what you're feeling, be honest with what is going on in your life, because you can't just ignore them. You can't push it away. You're just never going to actually accomplish the things you want to accomplish or get where you want to get to if you do that. I think I pretty much covered all of that. It is just really important to listen to that inner guidance. So the inner guidance system is your intuition, your higher self, and your soul. So the crystal grid card. So if you haven't watched my previous videos, this is the deck crystal grid oracle. It does look like it's reversed on there, but that's okay. And it is compassion. So the main crystal is ahawite. And then we have aquamarine and quartz in this grid. Ahawite is a very high vibrational crystal. You may be in need of some guidance, especially if you are a light worker. Use ahawite when you need to tap back into source and seek answers on a higher spiritual level. It elevates you to a realm where you can communicate freely with spirit, then aids you in communicating this information on the earth plane with compassion. A stone is spirit communication. It is perfect for spiritual teachers. So one thing that they're talking about, like as I read this even, is this, this is a week that, yes, it's tuning into spirit, but it's more important, or, you know, like your first steps are that connection with your higher self and bringing you through that guidance of your higher self, and deepen that communication with your higher self first. Having compassion for another means you have reached a level where you can see a situation for what it is. You see the bigger picture, and all judgment has been removed from the situation. They have talked a lot about judgment and releasing judgment. This is a sign of a true spiritual teacher. Reaching this state of compassion is ultimately our goal. For each lesson we learn, there are others also learning the same lesson, and we will continue to keep learning lessons until we die. This is how we grow and become more spiritually aware. We talked about that, right? Our soul, the experiences that our soul wants to have so that we can grow. Let's see. For each lesson we learn, there are others also learning the same lesson, and we will continue to keep learning lessons until we die. This is how we grow and become more spiritually aware. It isn't a race. We're all here to help one another, and we all learn what we need to when we are meant to. When we start to view the world with compassion rather than judgment, the world becomes a much better place, and our interactions with others will shift accordingly. Ahawite is a rather expensive stone. If you don't have a piece, you can still draw on its energy by asking for its help. Remember, there are no boundaries when working energetically. We are all connected and need only love on the energy we need for its help. I also love the number it fell on, 29, which is a 2 + 9 = 11, a master number. So ahawite is one that is a little bit harder to find and more expensive. So like it says in the book, you can call on the energy of the stones. And this is something that I do often. And you can also work with this grid. I will post a picture on my social media this week so that you can kind of tune into the energies there. But, you know, invite that crystal energy in and ask for help in your communication and your compassion. So that is everything for this week. I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful week, and please subscribe if you weren't already, and like and comment. I would love to hear your thoughts on this video or your experiences, and I will see you next week. Bye.